Yeah, sir. Practice session has ended and recording has been started. You may proceed, sir. Thanks.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I, Umesh Kumar More, Chairman of Growel, welcome all you members on the 64th AGM of our company. And it is now 3 p.m. and time to start the meeting. I hope all of you all are safe and in good health. This meeting is being held through video conferencing, visual means in accordance with the provisions of Company Act. We have taken all efforts under the current circumstances to enable members to participate through video conference and vote at the AGM. It was informed to me by the company secretary that requisite quorum of the members is present. I declare the meeting to be in order. As the AGM is being held through video conferencing, the provision for appointment of proxies is not possible. The Register of Directors and Key Managerial Person and the Register of Contracts of Arrangements and other documents mentioned in the AGM notice have been made available electronically for inspection by the members during this AGM. Members seeking to inspect such documents or write to Company Secretary of the company may please do so. Before proceeding further, let me introduce you to the members of the board and others present with us today. Joining with me on Growel Corporate Office at Kandivali, Mumbai are, to my right, Mr. Neeraj More, our Managing Director. To my left is Mr. Rohit More, our Executive Director. Mr. Yogesh Samat is to my extreme left. He is Director Operations. Mr. Suresh Parekh, who is second on my right, he's our director, independent director, and Mr. Mrs. Prerna Garodia to my extreme right. Mr. Tarun Goel, independent director and chairman of Shareholder Relationship Committee, is traveling abroad and attending the meeting through video conferencing. Mr. Ayush Agarwala, who has recently joined our board, he is also an independent director and is traveling abroad and attending the meeting through video conferencing, or right now he is or is not? He's not. Okay. Our statutory auditors, internal auditors, secretarial auditors, and scrutinizers have also joined the meeting from different parts of Mumbai. Mr. Gurendra Singh Gulati, Mr. Gulati, would you like to present yourself? CFO and Mr. Chintan K. Gandhi, Company Secretary, are also attending the meeting from corporate office. I will now request our Managing Director, Mr. Neeraj More, to conduct the proceedings of the meeting. Thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Neeraj More.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. And a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I thank all the members for taking the time out and joining this meeting over video conference today. I want to declare that in this case, there is any interruption in my connectivity. I authorize Mr. Yogesh Samat to conduct the proceedings till my connection is restored. Before we start the main proceedings of the meeting, I would like to draw your attention to certain points regarding the participation and voting at this meeting. Point 1. The facility of joining the meeting through video conferencing is made available to the members through the video conferencing facility provided by the Central Depository Services India Limited. The proceedings of this annual general meeting are being webcasted live for all the members as per details provided in the notice of AGM and being recorded for compliance purposes. All the members joining this meeting are by default placed on mute mode to avoid any disturbance from background noise and ensure smooth and seamless conduct of the meeting. The notice of the annual general meeting, along with the standalone and consolidated audited financial statements for the year ended 31st March 2022, and boards and auditors' reports thereon, have already been sent by electronic mode to all the members whose email addresses are registered with the company or depositories. The same is also available on the website of the company and the BSE. In accordance with the provisions of the Companies Act 2013 and SEBI listing regulations, the members have been provided the facility of remote e-voting and e-voting at the AGM. A remote e-voting facility was made available to all the members holding shares as on the cutoff date to vote on all resolutions mentioned in the notice of 64th Annual General Meeting. A remote e-voting facility began on Monday, September 19th, 2022 at 10 a.m. and ended on Wednesday, September 21st, 2022 at 5 p.m. Members who have not cast their votes through remote e-voting facility and who are participating in this meeting will have an opportunity to cast their votes during the meeting through the e-voting system provided by CDSL and 15 minutes after conclusion of the meeting. Members may visit the e-voting page of CDSL's e-voting website and cast their votes. Before proceeding further, on behalf of the board, I want to place on record our sincere appreciation for the services rendered by Mr. S.K. Sakalkar as an independent director of the company who resigned from the directorship of the company during the year. At the same time, I'd like to welcome Mr. Ayush Agarwala as independent director of the board. I am confident that his knowledge and experience will further strengthen our board. Since the notice of AGM, director's report, and the accounts are already mailed to all members and are also available on the website of the company and BSE, with your permission, I will take the notice of the meeting as read. The statutory auditor's reports on the standalone and consolidated financial statements and the secretarial audit report for the financial year ended 31st March 2022 do not contain any qualification, reservation, adverse remarks, or disclaimer. Accordingly, the reports are not required to be read out, as provided in the Companies Act 2013. However, with the consent of the members present, I take this as read. Since the meeting is being held through video conferencing and all the resolutions mentioned in the notice have already been put to vote, through remote e-voting and facility of electronic voting is also available during the meeting. The process of proposing and seconding the resolution is not applicable. In terms of notice of annual general meeting, the following businesses are to be considered at this meeting. Ordinary business. Number 1, adoption and approval of the standalone and consolidated financial statements of the company for the financial year 31st March 2022, together with the reports of the Board of Directors and auditors thereon as an ordinary resolution. Item 2 is confirmation of payment of dividend of rupees 65 paisa or equity share of rupee 1 each, that is 65% for the financial year 2021-22 as an ordinary resolution. Item 3 is the appointment of Mr. Rohit Kumar Moore, who retires by rotation and being eligible offers himself for reappointment as an ordinary resolution. Item number 4 is the appointment of Messrs. M.M. Nissim & Company LLP Chartered Accountants as statutory auditors of the company to hold office from the conclusion of this meeting till the conclusion of 69th Annual General Meeting of the company. Special business is the appointment of Mr. Ayush Agarwala as an independent director of the company as an ordinary resolution. Item 6 is ratification of remuneration of cost auditors for the financial year ending 31st March 2023 as an ordinary resolution. Some of the shareholders have registered themselves as speakers for the AGM. I shall now invite them one by one to speak and will be unmuted by the host of the meeting one by one. The concerned shareholder may express her views and ask questions. If any speaker shareholder is unavailable at the time of announcement of the name, his or her chance will be lost and we will invite the next speaker. If there is any connectivity problem at the speaker end, we will invite the next speaker to speak. After all the speakers have finished, we will once again give a chance to the left out speakers to come back and speak. The speakers are requested to restrict their queries, comments to 3 minutes to allow maximum participation of other speaker shareholders. Answer to the questions and management responses will be given altogether after all speakers have finished speaking. Now I announce the name of the speaker shareholders one by one and request the moderator to unmute him/her. Speaker number 1, may I request the moderator, Mr. Anand, to unmute Mr. Sanjay Kothari. Mr.
Sanjay ji, you are online. Please unmute and speak, sir.
Sanjay ji, can you hear us? Mr. Kothari, are you there?
Mr. Kothari, please unmute yourself and speak.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, yes.
Yes, is that Mr. Kothari?
I am Sanjay Kothari.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak, and congratulations on an excellent set of numbers. And I believe the best is yet to come. I just wanted a few clarifications that I had written to the company also, and I'll just repeat them for the sake of the benefit of other shareholders. One, on the surface finishing segment, can I know the capacity utilization separately for metal finishing segment, paint segment, and industrial lubricant segment? Point number 2, can I know the segment-wise capital expenditure for the current year and the next year and capacity post-capex? Point number 3, may I know the status of approvals and approvals received and approvals in pipeline for aerospace and defense coating? Point number 4, can I know the detailed description of the business of the engineering segment and contribution from pollution control segment thereon? And finally, the last point, what is the available additional FSI for the mall and for the R&D center in Chembur? That's about it from my side. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Kothari. Thank you very much. May I now request the moderator to bring Mr. Vaibhav Bajatia online. Please unmute him. Mr. Vaibhav Bajatia.
Yeah, sir. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, Mr. Bajatia, please go on.
Yeah, thanks a lot for providing the opportunity. And I have also submitted my list of questions, but I will quickly repeat them. So first on the surface finishing business, company has mentioned about setting up additional capacities in Dadra and Jammu. If you can let us know the capex which is involved here and capacities which this capex will create. Second, on the surface finishing business, how is our growth in electronics finishing versus metal finishing in FY22 is what I wanted to understand. Next, are you seeing an increase in growth opportunities in electronics surface finishing business due to government emphasis on Make in India in this segment? Fourth, who are the corporates who are leaders in electronics finishing business in India and worldwide? Next, what is the reason that we do not have leadership position in this segment, particularly electronics finishing business is what I'm talking about. Next, do we have any significant cost advantage vis-a-vis our competitor? If there is some identifiable advantage, great if you can help us understand that. Next is what is the percentage of our sales that comes exclusive from exclusive OEM which are only focused on electric vehicles like Ola and Hero Electric, etc. Next is that what margins in surface finishing business, that is overall margin including paint and oil business, in FY19 was around 19%, which came down to 16% in FY22. So if you can explain, why this gradual decline and in which segment within surface finishing business has faced largest pressure, that would be helpful. Now on real estate business, I have just two questions. That what is the plan for further development of Kandivali property? And second, the progress on monetization of Chambul land. Now, the other question is that companies purchases from enterprises of KMPs have gone up from 50 lakhs to 9.5 crore in this year. So that's quite a significant jump. If you can help us let us know that the details and items, what are we purchasing from related parties, and is there any long-term plan for demerger of the real estate business? I think these are my questions. Great if you can answer them point by point. That would be helpful.
Thank you, Mr. Bajatia. And now invite Srimati Vasudha Vikas Dakwe to speak. Moderator, please unmute her. Miss Vasudha Vikas Dakwe. Hello. Hello. Ms. Dakwe, are you there on the line?
Kindly speak.
Ma'am, are you there on the line?
She's there online.
Vasudha ji? We move on.
Sir, maybe some technical issue occur at Vasudha ji end. So can we move to the next speaker?
Yes, I'd like to invite the fourth speaker, Mr. Gautam Kedar Prasad Tiwari. So please unmute Mr. Tiwari. Mr. Tiwari, are you on the line?
Sir, you can listen me, sir.
Yes, I can hear you. I can listen. Thank you.
And probably you can see me also, sir.
Yes, I can see you as well. Yes, now I can see you.
Yes, sir. So
How are you doing, Mr. Tiwari?
Oh, I am doing very fine, sir. I hope you are also equally fine, sir. I'm
All
very
well,
happy.
thank you.
I'm very happy to see the whole board of directors in front of me, though virtually, but fit and fine and in a very inspiring position. Dear sir, very good afternoon to our chairman, sir Umesh Kumar Morji, our MD Neeraj Morji are conducting this, Rohit Morji, Yogesh Samant, and all other dignified directors and team Grower and Well, and my fellow shareholders, myself Gautam Tiwari, participating at this AGM from Mumbai. So dear sir, I would like to especially thank sir our MD, Executive Director and Director Operations and CS, including entire management team with IR and secretarial departments for delivering outstanding performance despite various challenges and difficulties around at global and national levels, and carrying out our business so nicely, even at national level and international level both. So really, I'm very happy about it, and the company is doing quite well and working quite hard. It looks like that. So dear sir, I would also like to thank the management for paying 65 paise per share dividend on face value of ₹1. Sir, what we have noted, I am your shareholder right from day one, sir. and always attending the meeting each and every year, keeping in mind the shareholders, minority shareholders' interest that the management has always kept in mind and always have rewarded the shareholders by first by stock splitting and thereafter by paying generous dividends year after year. Sir, you have always multiplied the wealth of our shareholders and given good returns to the shareholders each and every year. Dear sir, now I thank the management for best of the CSR activities uh, and for incurring better profits and revenues from international operations in FY 21-22. Sir, Secretarial Department, to speak about Secretarial Department, Mr. Chintan Gandhi is giving a very good, efficient service. His services are, and his team, Sheetal and other, the team also, his members are giving excellent investor care, investor service. And the notice, annual report and the notice is very much well designed and it is transparent, informative, and we got it in time. And sir, all our questions are and queries are answered and solved immediately. I thank the management and the secretarial team for their excellent investor service, and I thank the management for providing such excellent service providers. Even this our team of Webex and our RTA team is also equally good, and they are also providing the best of services. Sir, few questions which I would like to ask, sir. Our company, our company is a debt-free company, sir. Congratulations, it is very good, so that we don't have the burden, extra burden with us, and we can do our business precisely well. Sir, chemical plants we have got at Dadra, Jammu, at Jammu, then our paints plant also we have got Dadra chemical lubrication plant we have got. So which business are we concentrating the most at present, sir, out of all these plants? So then specialty chemical business also we have got plating and coating business. We are doing very good job and very much advanced techniques in plating and coating business. So how much are we spending on R&D, sir, to improve this business here? And sir, we have got Growel's journey is from chemical, from 1957 chemical to this 2008 paints. So with all these businesses, sir, chemicals and malls and lubricants and global presence in America and all that, where do we concentrate the most and in which way, at which place we are earning the best of the foreign currency revenues and profits? Sir, which of our broadband branded product is constituting more than 50% of its sales and volume? Sir, what is the attrition rate of in our company and what is the vaccination status of our employees? Sir, how much have we saved, sir, by conducting this virtual meeting compared to the physical meeting? And sir, what is the vaccine? How much dividend and number of shares we have transferred to IEPF? Anyway, I would like to ask any much questions. If you can answer comfortably also afterwards, sir. Nothing special, but we are very happy. We are very proud of being with you right from day one till now. I am very sure the company is going to reward better and better in the coming days. I strongly support all resolutions and I already supported, the appointment and reappointment of all directors favorably and already voted for them also favorably. We have got total trust, confidence, faith in the management, sir, and which will be there till the end of our life. And best wishes and compliments for all oncoming festivals to you all, sir, with the proper, safe and long, happy, healthy, wealthy life and a bright future for the company. Thank you very much for patient listening. Thank you, sir. God bless you with the choice of blessing and prime ministers also. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tiwari. May I now invite Mr. Bharat Negandhi. Moderator, please unmute Mr. Bharat Negandhi. Mr. Negandhi, are you there with us?
Sir is not available with us.
Okay. Should we proceed on to the next? Next is Srimati Lata Bharat Negandhi.
He is also not present.
Okay. We move on to the seventh speaker, May I now invite Mr. Mohan Chandiraman. Mr. Moderator, please unmute him. Mr. Chandiraman, are you online? Are you there with us?
No, sir. He is not present in this meeting.
Okay. Next, I'd like to invite Mr. Aspi Besania. Moderator, please unmute Mr. Besania. Mr. Besania, hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Mr. Besania. Please continue. Please go on.
Okay, sir, I must be from Bombay. Sir, I'm missing the physical meeting. I don't know why you are not kept a physical meeting. And sir, please do not keep meetings in the last week of September when there are so many other meetings. Even for physical AGM, it was very difficult to attend. So today there are two meetings at 3 o'clock, 3 at 4 o'clock, all that. Sir, I congratulate you on good results. However, margins are reducing. When do you expect previous pre-COVID margins to come back? Sir, Q1 margins have improved significantly. Can I expect margins to improve in future? Can the Q1 performance be repeated in the balance year? So inventories have increased from 93 to 143 crores. What is the reason for that? Sir, thank you very much and all the best for the future.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Besania. Thank you. May I now invite Mr. Satish Shah to come online. Moderator, please unmute Mr. Shah.
Sir, he is not present in this meeting.
Okay. I'd like to invite Srimati Lekha Satish Shah. Moderator, may please unmute.
No, sir. He is also absent.
Okay. Then I'd like to invite Mr. Himanshu Upadhyay. So, moderator, please unmute Mr. Upadhyay.
Sir, he is there, but his some internet connectivity issue is there, so we are unable to add him.
Okay. So, may I now invite Mr. Yogesh Vesvikar. Moderator, please unmute Mr. Vesvikar.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Vesvikar. Yes, Haji, please.
Good afternoon, sir. CMD, sir, Umakant ji. Sir, very good of set of numbers, sir. This time you have given, sir, considering the epidemic which we are going through. Sir, almost all the 3-4 questions which were there has been asked by my predecessor shareholders. But still, I like to ask one more question. That is, what do you expect, sir? How do you expect the this crude oil price to move out, sir? And how will it affect? Because we are our base material is crude oil, sir. So how will it affect our business in future? I support all your resolutions, sir. Thank you for patience hearing, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vesvikar. I'd like to now invite Mr. Anuj Nandkishore Sharma. Moderator, please unmute Mr. Sharma.
Mr. Anush?
Sharma?
Yeah, hello. Am I audible?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
You are. Yes.
Yeah. So I have sent in my list of questions. Do you want me to repeat those questions, or would you want to take it up in the Q&A session?
If you have nothing more than what you've sent, we can take it up in the Q&A. We can address it when we are addressing the other questions.
Yeah, all right. So I'll wait. I have just one request in terms of our transaction regarding Pune Bottling Company last year. Any rethoughts by the management over there to reverse the transaction? The belief is that it was below intrinsic value, and if it's reversed, the market cap gains could be much higher than the intrinsic value damage. So that's a request, and the rest of the questions I believe you will have it, so I'll await my turn.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sharma. Thank you. I'd like to now call upon Mr. Shalabh Agarwal. Moderator, may please unmute Mr. Agarwal. Mr. Agarwal, are you there on the line?
Hello.
Yes,
Am
Mr.
I
Agarwal,
audible?
we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Good afternoon,
Very
respected
good
Chairman, Board of Directors, and other members present. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. So firstly, many congratulations on a great set of numbers in a difficult year. I have also sent my questions. I will quickly go through them for the benefit of other shareholders. In the chemicals business, we had 28% and 52% growth, in FY22 and in the first quarter this year. I just wanted to understand what was the mix between price and volume growth for these two periods. Second, do we have any seasonality in our chemicals business? This is, I'm talking of the surface chemicals business, where in a particular quarter or half year is better than the other parts of the year. If you can also, break up the sales by broadly chemicals and paints and, the industrial lubricants, because we did not find that in the annual report. Also, the annual report mentions that we have in the surface chemicals, we have some subcategories like pre-treatments, general metal finishing, which is function and decorative coatings. And then we have more value added stuff like coatings on difficult surfaces, specialty coatings. So it would be great if we can get some color into how these segments contribute to our chemical sales. And are there any segments, these sub-segments where we are the market leaders, or any sub-segments where we are behind our competitors like Autotech or Arctech? So any comments on those will be helpful. Similar question was asked from one of the earlier shareholders, whether chemical electronics business, which I believe is a much smaller business for us, is that something which can become big over the years, given the focus of electronic manufacturing in India in coming years for us? Are there any new products or applications that we are looking to add in the chemicals business? Then annual report also mentions that we had supplied coatings to BrahMos missile. Then who are the other competitors in that space? And what is the contribution from defense and aerospace from last year, and how do we expect it to ramp up over the next few years? In AR, annual report also mentions emergence of some new international players across some segments that we cater to. If you can highlight those, that will be helpful. And just on the mall segment, do we expect to reach our pre-COVID numbers, FY20 numbers this year, given the growth that we are seeing in the mall division? I also believe that our CEO who was looking after the mall division had quit. So have we recruited a replacement, or who's the gentleman who is now looking after the mall division? Apart from that, sir, just last two, I also noted there was a significant increase in a related party transaction, around 50 lakhs had become 9.6 crores. So what was the nature of that transaction, and why there was, this kind of an increase? Lastly, our operating margins were around 20% in the first quarter. So have we been able to pass on most of our cost increase to the customers? And if our raw materials remain stable, then can we sustain or improve upon these first quarter margins, given we'll have some operating leverage as well? And what is the capex expected for this year? That's all. Thank you, sir, and all the very best.
Thank you so much, Mr. Agarwal. Now invite Ms. Celestine Mascarenas. Come online. Moderator, please unmute Mrs. Mascarenas. Mrs. Mascarenas, can you hear us? Are you online?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you can hear me?
Yes, Mrs. Mascarenas, very well. Loud and clear.
In the last 3 years. Otherwise, I used to come over for the physical meeting. You remember, no, Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Yes, sure.
Chairman, I come to the
Yes, ma'am. I remember you very well, and welcome.
Yeah.
Nice to have you on web with us.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.
respected Chairman Umesh More, MD Niraj More, other members of the board, my fellow shareholders attending this PC. I am Mrs. C.E. Mascarenhas. I am attending from Mumbai. First of all, I must thank the company secretary, Mr. Chintan Gandhi, and his team for sending me an e-annual report and also registering me as a speaker and also helping me to get in this virtual meet. And always, if any questions, he is always ready to answer, give me an answer because there is lots of this. This company is having many things in its hand. So always something or the other comes, then I phone the secretarial department. Now I coming to our balance sheet is very colorful and very beautiful. So many pictures of CSR work of our various other plans. It is a treat to see our balance sheet. I really give congrats to the secretarial department. Now working, sales up, PBT, PAT up, our reserves are up, EPS is also up, and dividend of 65 paisa for value of rupee 1 is also very good. Also, what I find great plus point in this balance sheet is rupees 6,300 lakhs transferred to general reserve. That shows that more and more growth is there in this company. Now, congratulate for all the awards and the accolades received. Also, very good CSR work. I appreciate very much. And also, ESG is taken up. So, I would like to know how much of footprint we have brought down, carbon footprint, and also whether we have gone for ESG rating. We have done, then who's the rating agency and what is our score? Now my query is, what is our market share in surface finishing and how much margins we are enjoying? We have around total 5 plants. And my question is, what is the capacity utilization or in the average life of all the plants? How much business we get in the pipeline coating? Next one, what is the market share of our specialized lubricant, Growel, and what is the demand and the margins we enjoy? Next one is, what is the order position in crores received in last quarter for heat treatment fluids? How much do we spend on R&D in percentage? Rest, as many speakers have spoken before me, mine is quite in the ending part. All many questions are covered. I am waiting only the answers. I support all the resolutions. I wish my company Growel well. Yes, it is well. All the best. And especially, I wish you and the entire team very good health because I believe health is wealth. And where there is health, there is always wealth. With this, I
Thank you. Hello. Hello, are you there?
Yeah.
Mrs. Mascarenhas, are you there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Mascarenhas. Hello.
Yes, Mr. Mascarenhas.
Respected Chairman, sir, very distinguished members of the board and my fellow shareholders. Good evening to you all. My name is Elisha Mascarenhas. This is my maiden speech that I am associated with the company as a shareholder right along with my wife. But I had not opportunity to speak. I am taking this opportunity to speak because I am very well associated with this company. I know this company very well. And only one question I wanted to ask is that we have a very big mall at Kandivli. Are we having any more malls? And all the shops are fully given up for rent in this Kandivli mall. Other things my wife and other predecessor shareholders have already said. Here I only wish you personally and all the board members and more importantly all the employees all the very best in the days and years to come. With this, sir, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Mascarenhas. Thank you. May I now invite Mr. Rajendra Sheth. Moderator, may please unmute Mr. Sheth. Mr. Sheth, are you there or are you there online?
No, sir.
No? Okay, so we'll move on. I'd like to now invite Shrimati Minal Bang. Moderator, please unmute Shrimati Minal Bang.
Minal is with us.
Okay.
Hello. Yeah. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. So thank you for the opportunity and congratulations on strong set of performance in last financial year. I have also submitted my list of questions. I will just repeat a few of them. So first set of questions are on export business. So globally, what we see is most of the OEMs who use metal finishing products and also general finishing products are large companies with multiple manufacturing facilities across multiple countries. So to maintain continuity in their quality of finishing, they would want same product wherever they have presence. So does this give Autotech a bigger advantage given their strong presence in the entire world? And what is the right strategy for us to grow export in the export market if Autotech has that advantage? And second question, if we compare ourselves with Autotech, where do you think we stand in terms of our technological capabilities, our R&D capability, and the range of products that we offer, B, our distribution reach, and C, our OEM relationships? Third question, we see at global level almost 20% of metal finishing market is from smartphones. How are we positioned in this market, and do we have products for plating applications for smartphones? Do products that go into general metal finishings are very different from that of electronics market? Fourth question, I read that Autotech built strong presence in China by building local sales team and also technical support team, and they also leveraged on their existing key relationships. So can we take similar steps to build export business in key markets that we are focusing on? Next question, what progress have we made in the European markets in terms of increasing our reach that we spoke last time? And given the cost inflation, what we have seen in the European market, how has our advantage changed in recent past? And with our current efforts in export market, can we expect to grow from 75-80 crores to 500 crores in next 3 to 5 years? Next set of questions are on domestic metal finishing market. So what we see is electronics is a very large segment at global level, and from Indian perspective also segments like smartphone, consumer electronics, and semiconductors are growing faster. So while we have talked about our presence in PCB market, we have market share in electronic segment. So it would be helpful if we can just share detailed perspective on how our company is positioned to garner higher share of growing opportunity, especially in the electronic segment. Next question is, we have said that in past we've said that metal finishing is a matured business and our growth in this segment will be linked to GDP growth. But now with so many new segments opening, can we expect to grow faster in this segment as compared to GDP? Next set of questions are on paint business. So metal finishing business has huge opportunity in the global market, and in Indian context also a lot of new opportunities are coming with growth in the manufacturing sector. Then why management is focusing on paints business, which is diluting our profitability and return ratios? Why can we not focus on doubling our revenues in the chemical business in domestic as well as international market? Can you share your thoughts? Next question, what is the share of paints in overall surface finishing business, and what portion of segments profitability now comes from paints division? Can you share ballpark numbers? Few general questions. Some of our global peers spend 4 to 5% in R&D, and we spend around 2%. So with new R&D center and expansion into global market, would we require to invest more in the R&D over next few years? Next question, we generate close to 100 crores of cash annually, and given nature of our operations, is it significant to fund it is significant to fund any kind of capex? So what makes you conservative on the business front, and we accumulate so much cash? And what point we will decide to distribute cash to shareholders as it continues to deter our return ratios and valuations? Last question, considering our expansion in paints and also surface finishing business, can we expect to grow at 15% profitably over next 3 to 5 years? That's the last question. I second what Mr. Anuj said on the Pune bottling transaction. So request you to relook at it and also request you to answer all my questions one by one. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bang. Thank you so much. I'd like to now call upon Mr. Avinash Agarwal to come online. Moderator, please unmute Mr. Agarwal.
Avinash is with us. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for this opportunity and congratulations for delivering a very strong set of numbers. Most of my questions have already been asked, so I'll just ask the ones which I think have not been asked. One is, the real estate sector is seeing a strong uptake right now across the country. And given the fact that COVID is largely behind us, what is our plan on the Kandivali land? What kind of development are we planning there? Second is, what is our overall capex plan for the year, and which are the segments that we plan to spend this year? And thirdly, we have a substantial amount of cash, as a percentage of our market cap or as a percentage of net worth. Mr. Varun has asked, what do we plan to do with this? And also whether do we see any M&A opportunity in any of the segments that we are present in for us to conserve this cash? And if it's not there, then what do we plan to do with it? Do we plan to distribute it to shareholders? These are broadly my questions. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you, Mr. Agarwal. I'd like to now invite Mr. Yusuf Rangwala to be online. Moderator, please unmute Mr. Rangwala.
Good afternoon, sir. आपको मेरा आवाज आ रहा है, sir? Good evening, sir.
हाँ जी, good afternoon जी, आ रहा है बिल्कुल.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm very happy with our company secretary and his team. Sir, first I will thank our Chintan Gandhi, who is a dynamic, handsome and hard-working company secretary, sir. उनके आज मुझे सर बैलेंस शीट नहीं मिली थी, आज मैं भूल गया था. उनके मुझे बहुत खुशी होती है. इतना अच्छा कंपनी सेक्रेटरी है, सर. वो हीरा है, सर. सर मैं जाना चाहता हूँ, प्रेशर अपना बंद है, सर. बिग बाजार के जाने के बाद सर अपना लॉस हुआ रहेगा, सर. अपने कंपनी लॉस गया, सर. टोटल लॉस है, तो भी आपने डिविडेंड दिया 0.65 पैसा, सर. ये दिखाता है कि आप हमें शेयर होल्डर को आप ध्यान रखते हैं. 1 रुपए का शेयर आज अपना मार्केट में अपना अराउंड 250 के ऊपर है. और सर आपका पेंट्स में हार्ड वर्किंग है, सर. आपका कंपनी, सर. चेयरमैन सर, और मुझे तो कुछ नहीं कहना, सर. 3 साल से आपको नहीं मिले, सर. दिवाली के बाद छोटा गेट टुगेदर रखिए, सर. चिंतामणि सर को बोल के एक छोटा गेट, कल एक सर एक छोटा गेट टुगेदर जी वाले का था, ऐसा अपन भी रखिए, सर. दिवाली के आसपास, सर. 3 साल हो गया, अपन दूर कर, सर. पहले तो अपन आते थे कांचीवाली में, सर. आपको ऑफिस में आपके आते थे, सर. रूबरू मुलाकात लेते थे, सर. बहुत अच्छा लगता था, सर. आज हम आपको नहीं भूल सकते, सर. ऐसी जो आप आपसे मिलते थे, सर. सर अपना फैक्ट्री, सर, सिलवा था, सर. उससे करो चिंतामणि सर को बोलिए, सर. मंथ ऑफ दिवाली और नवंबर में, सर, हमें फैक्ट्री विजिट कराइए, सर. टोटल नंबर ऑफ स्टाफ कितना काम करता है, सर, मैं जानना चाहता हूँ. टोटल नंबर ऑफ स्टाफ. और सर अपने आप चेयरमैन साहब, आपकी तबीयत कैसी है? सर, आई एम प्रेड ऑफ गॉड फॉर अ गुड हेल्थ, सर. एंड वी आर वेरी हैप्पी टू बी पार्ट, सर. जब भी कांदीवली में पास होता हूँ तो मैं, सर, आता था पहले बिग बाजार में, क्योंकि अभी तो सर बिग बाजार बंद हो गया. और देयर आर सो मेनी अदर्स, सर. बिग बाजार का बंद होने के बाद दूसरा भी अपना भाड़े पे दिया है, सर. उसमें से अपने को क्या इनकम आता है, सर, मैं जानना चाहता हूँ. और सर अपना कहाँ पे आपका नया मॉल बन रहा है? ग्रोवेल को, सर, कोई जरूरत नहीं है. चांद की चमकते रही चांदनी, चांद की चमकते रही चांदनी, ऐसी अपनी कंपनी है, सर. कभी सर कभी सर चांद में चमक कम नहीं होती है, इसे अपनी कंपनी की चमक कम नहीं होगी, सर. Thank you very much, sir. May God bless our company, and I voted in all the favor resolution, and my full support Thank you very much, sir. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra. Bharat Mata ki. I my speech only, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Rangwala. May I now request Mr. Saket Kapoor to come online. Moderator, please unmute Mr. Kapoor.
Namaskar, Moor Sahab.
Namaskar ji, namaskar.
And sir, dhanyawad sir for this opportunity, and I really thank Chintan sir for adding me into the list, sir. And sir, firstly, sir, as we see through the proceeding of the AGM, there is a lot of interest among investors in the company. So, sir, putting forward the request for press release and conference call also to be a part of our earnings would definitely add value to not only to the existing investors but also to people who would like to analyze the company in details and participate in your growth story. So taking into account the type of business we are and your MDA, which speaks volume about the incremental the increase in business that we are expecting ahead. I would request the board to look and deliberate into the merits of providing quarterly updates to investing community, either in the form of press releases followed by conference calls, so that we could participate and put forward our queries. So the set of questions which have been asked here or being sent to you on an annual basis can very well be discussed on either on a half-yearly or a quarterly basis. So please kindly look into the merit of the same, as many small caps and mid cap companies are regularly conducting a conference call. Now coming to the business aspect, sir. Sir, firstly, when we look at your Q1 numbers, especially for the surface finishing segment, what are the key factors, sir, that we were able to post higher PBT margins? I think so, closer to 18-19% on a turnover of 183 crore, 36 crore PBT was posted. So if you could elaborate to us, what were the factors that has helped us in achieving the same, and are these numbers sustainable, or any indicative numbers these are for the rest part of the year? If you could dwell more deeper on into the same. Sir, last in your rational report, I read that we have a market share of 30% in the surface finishing segment. So what has been currently the market share as on the last financial year, or as on the event date? If you could give whether we have gained any market share, and also provide us with the name of our peer competitors, if they are in the listed space. If you could give to have a valuation discussion, evaluation comparison. I am not aware of the same, so please help me out with that. Sir, in your engineering segment, your annual report did speak about a lot of value that we are going to create from this segment. But on a top line basis, we only posted 73 crore last year. So if you could elaborate the potential of the engineering segment, the order book pipeline, some more fillers, how this segment is going to shape, because this segment should be looked at for a 2 or 3 year perspective, and not on an annual, depending upon what is the gestation period of the order intake and the executable cycle. If you could give us more color. Sir, as earlier all the learned speakers spoke about the capacity utilization levels, so kindly throw some light on how the utilization levels are currently as compared to the last financial year. How is Q1 being, and how are things going to shape up for this year? About the mall part, sir, I think so. It was mentioned that some occupants have surrendered their tenancy. So what is the occupancy level currently, and from the mall segment, what kind of revenues are we looking for FY23 onwards for this year and going ahead? Sir, overall, sir, we would also love to hear more about how what's the business outlook currently. So coming now to just 2-3 more points. Firstly, on the capex part, sir. So we have planned a capex, I think so, around 150 crore for 3 years. So that includes our capacity enhancement in the industrial paints, setting up of this R&D center, and also expanding our capacity in the electroplating chemicals. So if you could give us some color, what kind of capex are we going to do for this financial year? What kind of capacity augmentation are we expecting? And going ahead, how is this? How is our turnover going? What kind of growth rate can we expect, keeping in mind the other parameters remaining the same? What kind of growth can we expect from the company going ahead? Since you have already mentioned in your annual report about the additional capacity at Dadar and Jammu, please brief on the long-term business strategy, as it has been mentioned that it pertains to the long-term business strategy of setting up of this technical center plan. And other than, yeah, sir. Sir, another challenging point which I got to know about from the rating rational report also is about the raw materials security and fluctuations. So what steps are we taking to mitigate the impact of the fluctuations, both for the our surface finishing electroplating segment as well as the paint? Sir, would also like to understand how are these segments complementing each other? Is it very required for us to continue with the industrial segment along with the chemical surfacing segment, having the same client linkage, or are they entirely different and the factors affecting the growth are totally different? So these are some of the points, and I can understand the paucity of time, sir, and would thank Gandhiji, our company secretary, for giving me the opportunity to speak here, but would again reiterate the point of the type of interest investors have today in mid-cap companies investments, sir. Kindly look into the merit of press release and conference calls for going ahead, so that a lot of these questions could very easily be addressed by the senior management team during the conference call. I hope that post the AGM, if questions are pending, I would be given an opportunity to interact with the senior with the people who could give answer to the same. And if an opportunity comes for a follow-up, I request the moderator to give an opportunity at the end of the session to any of us who want any follow-up, sir. Especially from my side, this is a request. And thanks again to the team. For hope to hear now the answer from you, and we request for elaborate answer for the same. Thank you, and all the best to the team. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kapoor. Since there are two more speakers. Okay, so I'd like to now request Mr. Himanshu Upadhyay to be unmuted. The moderator may please unmute Mr. Upadhyay.
Yeah, hello, am I audible?
Yes, Mr. Upadhyay.
Yeah, thank you for letting me speak. I just have a few questions. I'll just start them now. We are setting up this technical center. What capex will be required for it and completion timeline for it? Second, we are doing capex at Dadra and Jammu. Is it for paints or surface treatment chemicals? Third, in the last 2 years annual reports, we have spoken about increased competition in surface finishing from both domestic and international players. How has it impacted us? Have we lost customers, or reduction in pricing, increased working capital, etc.? Can you explain, and what are we doing to grow our leadership in the business? Fourth, we have talked of putting into play the business strategy conceived last year to regrow our share in general metals finishing segment, with focus on the anodized electroless nickel and plating over plastics. Can you explain what was the strategy earlier? Were we not focusing here? What does regrow mean? Have we lost market share here? Fifth, we spend more than 1.5% of revenue on R&D every year. Have we applied for any patents? What is the role of patents in this business? Sixth, we have approximately rupees 257 crore in cash on our balance sheet. What investment opportunities are we looking at? Seventh, last year, the growth of exports was good. What was the reason for it, and what are we doing to grow that business? Is it through distributors in those geographies, or we are having our own salespeople? Have we added new distributors or sales in these geographies? Eighth, how many new institutional clients we have added in the last 3 years for surface treatment business? Ninth, last year we invested in Power Grid InvIT. Will we invest in securities markets in the future, and how do we decide where to invest? 10th, what is the percentage of revenue from products introduced in last 3 years in surface treatment products, and how has it moved in the last 5 years? 11th, what would be the percentage of sales direct to the customers? 12th, what are we doing to improve the skill set of our employees to do better solution and consultative oriented sales? How many employees are in sales for us, and what is the churn rate for us? These are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Upadhyay. Thank you so much. Who? I'd like to now request Srimati Vasudha Vikas Dakwe to come online. Moderator may please unmute her. Ms. Vasudha Vikas Dakwe. Are they? Okay, so now we can proceed with answering the questions. Now that all the shareholders have finished expressing their views and have asked their questions, before I invite my colleagues to respond to the specific queries related to the business, I'd like to give a brief synopsis on the general operations of your company during the year under review, which would possibly answer some of the questions that were raised during the question answer session. Financial year 2022 was indeed a very eventful year for your company. Operationally, the company achieved new milestones, and yet, despite the various challenges faced during the year, your company was able to cross the rupee 800 crore mark in gross sales in the year and was still able to carve a niche for itself in the ever-changing business landscape. The total income, that is net of discount, was at rupees 780.5 crores, and that registered a 26% growth over the previous year, and the PBT registered a growth of 10% over the previous year of 95 crores. Last year we registered 105 crores. There were various questions asked on why there was a drop in the PBT. I think the low percentage growth in PBT was largely due to the challenges posed by the continued impact of the COVID-19 in the earlier part of financial year 2022, followed by the uncertainties and the bottlenecks in the global supply chain, rising inflation and fluctuating metal and energy prices arising due to the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine and other geopolitical factors. Out of the total income of 780 crores, the surface finishing segment, which constitutes nearly 87% of the total income, grew by close to 27% over the previous year, followed by the engineering segment, which constitutes 9% and which grew by 15% over the previous year, and the mall segment, which represents 4%, grew by over 56% over the previous year. As we were just discussing, the service finishing segment primarily consists of three distinctly different but synergetic businesses. That's the general metal finishing chemicals, which constitutes nearly 63% of the 87%, followed by the industrial paints, which constitutes 34%, and the industrial lube, 3%. So of the 87%, the more than half of it is coming from our GMF, which is the flagship of our division, in which we manufacture and supply electroplating chemicals, specialty paints, and decorative top coats. Customers are spread across automotive, jewelry, hardware, sanitary fittings, electronics, white goods, defense, In this segment, 90% of the sales are through distributors and 10% is direct. The industrial paint segment, which constitutes about 34%, our focus is on industrial coatings, which include pipeline coatings, heavy duty coatings, marine and aerospace, OEM and architectural coatings. In this segment, we are enjoying about 8% of the market share. The coating business per se in the year 21-22 was estimated to be about 60,000 crores, of which 45,000 crores was from the decorative market. Out of the 15,000 crores, which is the non-decorative, you have the automotive and the non-automotive coating. So the non-automotive coating constitutes about 8,000. In the non-automotive coating, you've got about 2,500 crores, which comes from the powder coating market and 2,000 from the coil coating. So, and the remaining about 1,000 from road marking paints and packaging material. So what is really left in the non-automotive market is 2,500, which is the industrial coating, out of which we are presently at about 200 crores, which is close to 8%. There is a huge potential in the market in this segment, and which is why there are plans by the company to grow in this segment. Industrial lube, like the industrial coating business, has also a huge market. We estimated market for the kind of specialty lubes that we are in is about 4,000 crores. Presently, we are a very, very insignificant player, but with a huge potential in this segment. Engineering division constitutes about 9% of our total income, largely manufactures plants for electroplating, phosphating, pickling. Industries that we cater are again hardware, bathroom fittings, architectural fixtures, industrial applications. Sales are direct 100% to the customers. Ball, which is the smallest contributor to our top line, 4%, has been operational since 2005. Total built up area of the mall presently is about 4.64 lakh square foot, of which the leasable area is about 2.5 lakh square foot. That has about 114 shops. Of the 114 shops, we have leased 103 shops, so we are 93% occupied. Potential for the mall, the total potential in the property of FSI is about 18 lakh square foot. And we have built close to about 303 lakh 45,000 square foot. So when I say a built up area of 4 lakh 64, it is really including the corridors and the free of FSI area. So out of the 18 lakh, which is the potential, we have really built about 3 lakh 65,000 square feet. So there is a substantial 14 lakh square foot space available, FSI available for us to build. But that is not possible because there is a certain height limitation beyond which we cannot go. We have our plants spread over 5 different locations. We have totally 7 plants, 2 in Dadra, 2 at Vapi, 1 at Barotiwala, 1 in Jammu and 1 Alandi. When I say 2, one in Dadra is for paints and the other one is for chemical. Vapi has 2 plants again, one for the GMF and one for the oil division, and 1 each in Jammu, Barotiwala, Alandi. Total installed capacity for our GMF range is close to about 26,000 metric tons from Dadra, Jammu and Vapi, and our utilization is close to about 86%. Paints, which have their manufacturing in Dadra and Barotiwala, the installed capacity is close to 12,000 KL, and the utilized capacity is about 80%. Lubricants has an installed capacity of 2,400 metric tons. Plant is in Vapi, and utilization is about 55%. Your company employs close to about 862 full-time employees and consultants, and over and above this, about 550 to 600 odd contractual labor. Of the full-time 860 odd employees, about 40% of them are in the technology, R&D, sales and marketing, and providing after sales to our customers. Going forward, the global economic outlook is cautiously optimistic due to the headwind of the cost fluctuations and supply chain disruptions caused by the ongoing geopolitical factors. Despite this, Growel, with its unique product portfolio, countrywide presence, and passionate workforce, is well positioned to overcome most of these bottlenecks. The company will grow to strive for a growth journey in the ensuing financial year 2023, and with the help, support, and cooperation of business stakeholders. Now, on the specific questions, may I request Mr. Yogesh Samath, Mr. Rohit Moore, and our CFO to address them. Mr. Yogesh, if you can take up the questions on the operations.
Yeah, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and dear shareholders. There are very many questions that have been asked with several overlaps. So without referring to individual shareholders, I will address the questions, the specific questions, other than those that have been addressed by Mr. Neeraj Moore in his previous address. The first question was regarding capacity and capacity utilization, which was given, which was already provided, and that question has been answered. There was a discussion regarding plans for capex in the current year, and in the future, which has been planned, which I will provide the information now. There are 4 areas where capex has been planned in our company. We have a plan for expansion of Jammu, where we will be deploying 21 crores. Out of which rupees 10 crore will be in the current financial year. There is a technical center for which we've outlined rupees 40 crores, of which only 5 crores will happen this year because we are in the process of still working out the final shape of the center. And so the project work will start towards the end of this financial year. In paint expansion in the current financial year, we expect to have a capital expenditure of rupees 10 crores. And then the balance expenses will be miscellaneous expenses in the region of 3 or 4 crores. Put all together, what is outlined as a definitive capital expenditure is around 75 crores. Then there was a question regarding from many of our shareholders regarding the growth opportunities in the surface metal finishing as well as electronic finishing, and there were some references to especially for the electronic and electrical vehicles market. I will make a give a general overview of how that is expected. We have been traditionally leaders in plating of large surfaces, especially in automotive sector, in bath fittings, and so on and so forth. Electronic segments has emerged recently. We make products that cater to that segment. However, the contribution of that segment to our entire portfolio is now at this point of time less than 5%. We do expect a significant increase in this area, along with certain other sectors, which we have defined as 3 or 4. Some of you have referred to it in the balance sheet, which is the plating over plastics, the anodizing sector, and the PCB sectors. There is a fair amount of work and investment both in technical support as well as in sales, which is being done to achieve growths in these areas. The initial results are promising. We will have to await our efforts. There was a question asked regarding electric vehicles as to what percentage of share of market do we have. That cannot be answered very specifically because the network and the ecosystem of OEMs is extremely large in this country, and they also have different vendors who supply to them, and many of these vendors are our customers. So suffice to say that we are well connected with the industry, and therefore whatever opportunities do emerge in the future in the sectors and the segments that we can cater to will be catered to with full satisfaction. There was a discussion that happened regarding the exports market which I will share some light on. The exports market has done, as has been mentioned by Mr. Neeraj More, has done reasonably well. And that is also because there was a fair amount of opportunity that emerged post the COVID world, where there was a disruption in the supply chain that caused a lot of companies to look for alternative suppliers for their production facilities world over. There has been an increased thrust in the exports business, and we have taken full advantage of the opportunities that have been posed. These opportunities will continue in view of the uncertainties that continue in place, especially in places like Europe, where there has been some disruption due to the ongoing war between Ukraine as well and Russia. There was a question regarding how do we stand as compared to competition in terms of our technical capabilities. Suffice to say that in the segments that we operate and in the market reach within the country, we are adequately prepared and capable and able to address the needs of the market as per the requirements of the customers. Our strengths essentially lie in the traditional plating segments, like I mentioned before, not so much in the electronic segment. But we have put in efforts and developed products which will allow us to access these markets, and we are in the process of doing so as well. In the mall division, there were 2 or 3 questions that were raised, which I'm going to answer. One was regarding was a reference to the leadership in that team. The answer to that question is that the person has been now recruited and has been functioning for the last 3 months, and we are satisfied with the way the mall business has recovered. There was a reference to how can we expect the mall business to exceed the pre-COVID and COVID revenues. The answer to that question is, given the situation and the current movement, it is very likely that the revenues will be exceeded, but we have to just make sure that there is no other disruption that comes in the way of achieving the financial numbers. I think that's about most of the answers. Engineering.
Yeah. Thank you, Yogesh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. There were a few specific questions related to engineering, which we should try to answer to your satisfaction. There was a query related to the contribution of pollution control segment in the engineering business. Our engineering business primarily focuses on surface finishing equipment and the ETP related to surface finishing equipment. So we are really not in the general pollution control segment, and so it actually does not contribute 50% to the engineering revenue. As far as the potential of the engineering segment, there was a query related to the growth and a 3-year plan. However, the segment being dependent on the investment policies related to our customers, it's not easy to prepare a 3 to 5 year business plan towards this sector, as it completely depends on the capitalization plans of our customers. So we do not really project any 3 to 5 year business plans for this sector. Someone had raised a question related to purchases from key management personnel, and most of this increase has been in the engineering sector. We have been purchasing control panels and other components from one of our related parties, which is used in the final product, which is delivered by us to our customers. IP and confidentiality reasons is one of the reasons we've had to revert to this and buy these products from one of the related parties. These were the 3 specific questions, more for the engineering sector, and hope we've been able to answer them. Thank you.
I'd like to now request Mr. Virender Gulati, our CFO, to come and answer questions pertaining to the finance and the accounts.
Thank you, Mr. Moore, and good afternoon to all ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to the AGM. My name is Gurinder Gulati, and I'm going to take up some questions directly on the financial statements. Since the financial numbers and the business performance has already been discussed extensively by our board members, so I will go straight to the QA section. To begin with, there was a question regarding the split of chemicals and paints in surface finishing chemicals, both from the point of view of revenue as well as from profitability. So the split between surface finishing, between chemicals and paints in surface finishing in terms of the revenue is 63% and 34%. And in terms of the EBIT, the split is around 86% and 13%. Then I'll go to the question of CapEx. Of course, this has also been discussed before. So last year, our total CapEx was around 24 crores, of which the chemical was 14 crores and paint was 4.42 crores. This year, our CapEx plan is also around 25 to 30 crores, out of which the Jammu expansion plan will entail 10 crores. 5 crore will be spent probably for the civil work in Vasai, and 10 crores over there for the paints, and 5 crore will be spent on the balancing equipment as such. But on a long-term basis, the CapEx plan for Jammu is around 21 crores, out of which 10 crores will be spent this year. This will give us an additional capacity of nearly 16,000 MT, besides our existing capacity of 7,450 metric tons in Jammu. Then if we go for the Vasai Tech Center, the total expenditure on a long-term basis on the CapEx is around 30 to 40 crores, of which 10 to 12 crores will be on the civil part. And this year it is planned to have the CapEx of 5 crores out of the civil part. The construction is expected to start this year and is likely to complete by end financial year 24, that is 23-24. Shopping mall, which took the longest time to recover from the COVID period. Before COVID-19, we had the plan for the mall expansion, but it is currently on hold as we are looking for the post-COVID scenario for this segment before we make the big investment in this particular segment. As per DCPR 2034, we have the surplus FSI close to 1.5 million square feet. However, practically for mall, this will not be exactly utilizable because we have some pre-existing structure, and as Mr. Neeraj Moore also shared, that there is a height issues. For Chembur 2, we have technically speaking an FSI close to 2 lakh square feet. However, given the micro location, which is surrounded by BPCL and HPCL, the development of the real estate might not be possible there. There was another question regarding demerging the real estate business. There is no proposal at present under consideration to demerge the real estate business as a separate listed entity. For Vasai 2, our FSI available will be something like 90,000 square feet. There was another question relating to cash and investment, so I'll go with that. On question of 257 crores, which is lying in our balance sheet in terms of cash, we have already worked out 30 crores to be spent over there this year, wherein we said we will go for the Jammu expansion, and even for the long-term capital expenditure, which is around 76 crores, which is definite as of today, the utilization is there. Similarly, considering the limit, there is a scope of, wherever there is a scope of inorganic investment opportunity, we are open to that, and we will be using this surplus cash over there. Last year, we have invested in power grid, and we will continue to use such sort of instruments in the future as well. But our guiding philosophy in this type of the investment will be the low risk-free safe investment, based on the professional advice. So we are going for this type of activities based on the professional advice. We are at the moment not considering any direct investment or direct investing in the direct share market at the moment. On the question of receivables, the increase for the number which is more than 1 year old, it is primarily 40 to 50% or majority part of the receivable is relating to the tax component on the lease rent, for which the matter is sub judice. And second, it relates to the retention, and it is also mentioned over there in our annual report. Additionally, in our engineering and pay business, there are retention and outstandings are slightly more. So this is over a period of 1 year. So that is why the aging is like this. Mr. Rohit Moore has also discussed about the purchases from the related party, which has increased to 9.6 crore this year as compared to last year. So as discussed, this is relating to the control panels and other engineering items which we are outsourcing. The pricing for this is at arm's length. I would like to say the prices for this is at arm's length. And we are going for a sourcing because of IP and confidentiality reason. And we are not going out to the third party, but we are doing from the related party on this matter. There was another question which was there for the subsidiaries and associates. On this status, our company has already impaired the investment in Growel and Whale Thailand, and we have also put a loss of impairment loss of 83 lakhs or 83.83 lakhs to be very specific, post its winding up in Thailand. There are no operations in GNW Shanghai, and Growel Chemical, though the sale has increased, but it continues to incur the losses. There was one question relating to R&D spend, and there was like the patent matters which was there. We have spent nearly 1.7 crore, 7% of our turnover on R&D. And so far as patent registration is considered, the question on the patent registration, we are not considering any patent registration. As you know, in India, only the process patents are allowed. The product patents are not allowed for the registration in India. And the process patents are also for a limited period of 14 years as such. So if we go for the process patent registration, after 14 years, it will be available as public. So we don't want to take that risk. So we are not going for any patent registration on this. There was another question regarding the time gap in AGM and signing of accounts. In this regard, we were planning to appoint the new independent directors. Therefore, the holding of AGM was delayed. Otherwise, we have to call another general meeting as per the SEBI guidelines. There was a question for distribution of cash to the shareholder in form of the bonus shares. Right now, there is no active proposal for distribution of for any bonus share as of this date. On the final question relating to the Pune bottling, which was there as informed last year, the board accepted this offer of buyback after a careful evaluation. This investment was in a non-listed company, so it was largely illiquid. And buyback was a good opportunity for the company to monetize the investment since we got 23 times the price of the 23 times the cost. It has also not yielded any profit or any dividends over the past several decades. Moreover, the price for this particular buyback was carried out based on the valuation by Category 1 merchant banker. The company was into the core business of the Pune bottling was the construction, which also went into litigation because there was a problem with the JDA partner. So the board was very wary of the underlying assets if the litigation continued for the longer period of time. So once the offer was there for buyback from PBCL, finally the board took the decision to exit the investment. So I think I have covered all the financial part, questions relating to financial part. I am not going into the specifics of why there was a decrease in margin because Mr. Dheeraj Moore has extensively covered. It is largely because of increase in the raw material prices, the bottleneck in supply chain management, war, etc. So this is already covered, so I'm not going to cover it again.
Thank you, Mr. Gulati. With that, I think we have answered all the questions or queries raised by our shareholders. In case any of the questions do remain unanswered, please communicate your questions to the company secretary through email. May I now request our chairman, sir, to express his views on the performance and future prospects of the company.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me firstly apologize for my voice being a little difficult to understand because I have a small problem with my vocal cords. So I'll try my best, and please excuse me for this little constraint. Okay, now coming to our business opportunities, there are quite a few divisions on which we have spoken quite in detail with you all. Therefore, to go into the aspect of each vertical of the company and start talking about it is a long procedure. If anybody is interested, more specifically, they are welcome to the office and we'll try and do our best. Let me talk about the overall position of the company, which we foresee or what we have budgeted for this year. We are trying to follow a budget where our sales revenue overall of all the manufacturing divisions, and there are 5 of them, we expect that the growth will be about 35% in our sales. This is what we had budgeted. There are certain factors which might alter this, I think marginally, not too much. We have already recorded a growth of 34% in the first half of this year. Of course, this includes the factor of inflation, but nevertheless, in terms of fiscal movement, yes, this is the percentage of growth, and we hope that we'll be able to continue in the balance half of this year as well. To relate it to a profitability directly at this stage is somewhat difficult because of the unusual conditions which are prevailing world over, especially due to the geopolitical disturbances which are going on. Normally speaking, yes, one would be able to relate it from the point of legacy or historical working of the group. But this year, in this particular respect, after COVID, we have this problem of the geopolitical issue. So that does cause certain amount of questions to the profitability. I don't think it is going to be, it's going to change very much, but nevertheless, the next 6 months will really tell us as to how things go, especially with respect to Ukraine and Russia and what influence it has world over. There are advantages and disadvantages, which I think all of you all who are studying the market closely and with interest will agree with me. The advantage is primarily that there is a weakness in industry. Seems to be, I should not say there is, but there seems to be a reason for weakness in trade and industry, especially in Europe and certain parts of East Europe. Now, there's a disadvantage in terms, especially as far as we are concerned, in terms of the supply chain. Definitely, the production activity in Europe and some of it partly in China, as well as I would say in Russia, are constrained due to the current political situation. On the other hand, there's an advantage. The advantage is that the demand these countries are not able to meet as well, and therefore that demand is falling in the laps of countries like ours, who have been relatively not as much affected from this political change. So we find that the level of demand is in fact growing. It's very encouraging in virtually all these sectors, whether it be metal finishing, whether it be paints. The problem is the supply chain. So it's a balancing act between the supply chain and the demand. How we can handle it in this situation, I'm sorry, I cannot predict it with a definite answer. But I think that with the resources that the company has, at least in its area of specialty, it should provide us, we should end up with certain taking advantage of whatever are the positive sides rather than suffering as much from the negativity. So the performance of the company in this respect, we feel will definitely grow in terms of profitability also. But of course, this is a subjective thinking. One cannot guarantee this in a fluid situation like this. Nevertheless, what is good about this company or our company is that these sort of setbacks that we have had either during COVID times or during even the present political shakeups, the future plans of the company have not been affected. With the grace of the Almighty, as well as the good wishes of all of you shareholders, whatever setbacks the industries may have had, we continue to move on with our expansion plans as we had thought of 3 years back even, except in the mall area. In the mall, the opportunities with the company are very good. It's also a time where it's also an area from which we build our wealth. Profitability, the manufacturing division may be having better, but the wealth construction in the mall is definitely much higher than what you can do from the manufacturing division. That has not taken at a speed which it could have done. Simply because, the nature of the mall is that it has to have public to really support it. And with the COVID being for the last 2 years and the effects of that, as well as certain amount of uncertainty in the market conditions, the support of the masses in this particular field is limited and could be limited for another few months. It has certainly changed. In last 4 months, there has been a change, as a result of which the profitability of the mall division has done relatively very well compared to the previous years where we were under the influence of COVID, but it has not come back to what its original shape was. Investment in real estate today, in marketing, one has to be careful. We don't know about the future. So whatever investments we had planned for our real estate division, let's say 2 years back, that has definitely suffered a setback. But the manufacturing division of the company, commensurate with our size and our opportunities, will even today continues to grow and will continue to grow in the pace that the company can afford quite aggressively. We have been talking about the investments, etc., which of course Mr. Gulati, our CFO, mentioned, and so also the different divisions. These investments are investments in plant and machinery. Besides these, we intend investing in land for these investment plans, which are going to be larger figures. The company is presently negotiating or is in the process of negotiating for buying new properties for its manufacturing division, which could go to even 30 crore by itself, 35 crore by itself, which I don't think has been included in the figures given to you. Of course, it cannot be committed at this stage because none of these commitments have as yet been they have not been finalized. It's not cemented as yet. Might happen in the next month or two. Let's see what happens. But these are also to add us the platform for future expansions. The paint division also had a major a major expansion program, but we are being somewhat careful in it because the costs have started going haywire. And paint traditionally does not carry the margin that metal finishing carries in itself. It's a volume business. Paint is certainly a volume business, and it can bring this company to a totally different level. But the margins currently are not like our niche business of metal finishing, in which the company is a leader in our country. So to give you an overall idea, in our company, our activity, approximately 70 to 75% the revenues come from the general metal finishing division, in which the margins are higher. So our creation of wealth, our creation of profitability, not wealth. I'm sorry. The profitability, our profitability comes from metal finishing, no doubt in it. But paint, if we go in very actively and if we get into that slot in the right manner, it can take us to a different level through volumes. And when the volume grows, okay, fine, we may not have the same percentage of profit that we carry in general metal finishing, but if you add up in total, it could be a substantial contributor. Therefore, if you go back and see, the focus of this company in manufacturing has been in all areas, principally in surface treatment, which there is synergy in always. Maybe one division has a slightly less profit margin, maybe the other has a better profit margin, but we are all working towards surface treatment, be it through metal finishing, be it through coating, which is painting, or be it through lubes. Lubes are also very much a part of surface active process. So your management has been particular to invest the resources of the company, besides, of course, the real estate activity, which happened to be instrumental. But in the manufacturing division, we have always been particular to utilize our resources by way of funds as well as our manpower and knowledge in areas in which we claim to expertise, and that is surface treatment. All three items, if you see, whether it is lubes, whether it is paints, whether it is metal finishing, all three are in basic connected to same, it is surface treatment. That is where ultimately our objective is, to become a recognized leader. Paint may be a very big industry, there's no doubt, it's more than 65,000. Compared to that, we are a very small company, but that doesn't deprive us the chance of growing. We have the resources, we have the knowledge, we need to consolidate ourselves, and that is what we have been doing. And with the blessings, with your blessings and good wishes of all, we will conquer to some extent a reasonable share in paint also. It might take some time. In metal finishing, you already have a leadership position. We are quite confident of maintaining that in spite of whatever competition might be coming from international standard. It has already been here, not from today, but last 10 years, and we have been able to maintain our leadership. And I personally am very sure that this situation is not going to alter. The percentage might change a little bit here and there because obviously everybody wants to keep an paw in the soup. But nevertheless, the leadership of your company is reasonably well planned. We have one of the largest team in this country in metal finishing to service and to do the marketing in the area of electroplating, in which we really expertise. So I think this will give you a good preview of the activity and what we as a management think and would like to drive this company towards. I hope we enjoy your confidence also in the same respect. And if anybody has any specific comments, we invite them. Please come to our office, talk to us. There is always something new to learn. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. Thank you, Chairman, sir. The Board of Directors has appointed Messrs. GMJ and Associates, firm of practicing company secretary, as the scrutinizer for this meeting. Based on the report of the scrutinizer, the combined results of the remote e-voting and the e-voting done at the meeting today will be announced and displayed on the website of the company and will also be submitted to the stock exchanges as per the requirement under the SEBI listing regulations. With this, all the items of business as per the notice of the AGM have been taken up. I now declare the proceedings of the annual general meeting as completed. As mentioned earlier, the e-voting facility will continue to be available for 15 minutes after the meeting and will be disabled thereafter. Shareholders are requested to exercise their right to vote. On behalf of the Board of Directors and the management of your company, I convey our sincere thanks to all the members for attending and participating at this meeting. Please stay healthy, stay safe, and take care of yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks to everybody present here. And let's hope